Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening whenever you get this video. So today we're doing the building a website with AI, and I started building some folders. And as you can see here, we have different in first revision to where we are in the final. So we're going to stay in this area, and then we're going to come here where I was really focused on trying to build, doing a little bit. So let's start. I guess we're gonna go, I guess here. I was asking to do a photo gallery. These are all one shots and try to do revisions. And then I started noticing that the model wouldn't do what I was asking. So as you can see here, it was supposed to pull images from the internet and have a, well, that one worked. That's good. So that was the first run. Close that. And I'm going to move this over because we're working with this. And I wanted it to keep loading, which is this one. All right, start again. It loads just everything from the city. You can see it keep loading. It's supposed to be loading stock images from the internet. And as you can see, I was kind of focusing on what it would look like. And then we got this, but it didn't have the scroll. So I think if you refresh, it should give you new images. And of course, it doesn't do that. Let me close it. All right, so I was wrong, which is good. So these weren't exactly how I wanted it because I said make a YouTube clone. And it made this, and I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. I played it, and it had this little video. And they all play the same exact video. None of these are live. And I was wondering where they get the images. So I said, I gave it instructions to be a little bit more like YouTube. And it made this one. And as you can see, it will infinite scroll. You can see it loading and loading and loading. So this was where I started. I said, make me a YouTube clone. And all of these would be clickable YouTube channels. You can see the users. You have a list on the side. And this was just me copy pasting the normal YouTube menu. Top, you had, a bell, search. I don't know what this is. And that was the end of that one. And I went back here to the gallery and I said, hey, let's try to do that. And, it couldn't. Would it load these? Yep, it did load them. And what's cool about these is that you can right click and you can download the image. Or you can write a script and you can have that download the image. So that's how I got to the gallery style, technology, animals, but it's a random. But you can, when you figure out where each of the images are, you can be a little bit more specific and find them, and it would be the same. Then we went to professional DJ company. Now these are all one shots with a little bit of revision. And as you can see, some of the pictures didn't come through, but I think I figured out a prompt that will allow it to come through. You got the different sections. It slows down. We did a new revision and everything was coming off to the left for some reason. And you had the newsletter with the Google. You could sign in with these two and subscribe. Underneath, what's supposed to have how to get here with a map, and 4 selections. You click on it, it'll show the map. So then we went from there to here. Same thing. It just the pictures were coming on the left, but at least the images were coming. But take a look at this as I refresh. If you like this image, right click. Look at that, right? You can pull it. You can pull this one too. But when you hit refresh, it changes. So it's gone. So if you see it and you like it, you could just right click and you can, oh, you know what? You have to save it from here. Save as, because that's what I was doing here. As you can see these other pictures. So the mistake I made is part of what you would do, but the cool thing is you can do it from here. You can hit save as. I made an asset folder because I was thinking, oh, these are great images. And you can reuse them. These are all totally free. As you can see here, this is the URL. So that is free, free, free. All right, then we did the last one here. And as you can see, it was getting better. We got a topper, you know. We might want to, since it's random, these look like they were fixed because they're the same. Yeah, because I remember this lion. But look how cool that is. I just added a little extra saying when going over the selection, you click the README, and there you go. These are 100% one-time shot asking ChatGPT. The way I did it was saying I described it, as you can see here, 3 across with a hover that says read more. I say make sure it animates, and I also said, because you see the wording, I said you got to put some words here. So I said 2,000 words pertaining to whatever. And this is 100% local. I'm using MISTY. And I was using these prompts right here. So a 100%, sorry for the microphone, 100% local. And I have more. So I did a professional, and I did the space. This one was pretty cool. Now, this is where I started seeing problems with the model, because I started asking certain questions, and it would not give me the code exactly the way I wanted it. And I really started being concerned because, it's supposed to give you what you want, and it didn't do that. So, which was the time? Which was earlier? This one was early. Look at this, 6:53 in the morning I started doing this. So what I see here is a lot of opportunity. Right here, it's supposed to have a picture, and I'm going to show you how to put that in there. And let's see if we can move this over. And then here is supposed to have a Spotify. I figured out how to put that in. And everything here, I didn't, there's a lot of stuff that needs to happen. I think I put a gallery where it rotates. That's why these images are changing all the time. And a lot of that stuff, if you're, new to coding, I recommend pick up a book or watch some YouTube tutorials on exactly how to do simple edits. And as you can see right here in the bottom under music, you got the Spotify, and it plays and everything. I'll play a little snippet.
Yeah.
All right, it plays it, and it's got the social media in the bottom. What is this one? That's an index. They're all index. They're supposed to be, I don't know. I keep seeing this little red robin here for Twitter. So those were the two in that section. We did the YouTube clone, and then we got the professional entertainment front page. And we're going to start from the first attempt. Like I said, no images yet because I was still figuring out how to write the prompt. There was an error right here. As you can see, you got the two together, the titles on the left. I wanted to have an upcoming event. And this is just me saying, make columns. You got the event, the location, the time. I didn't really care about the time, but it was basically in Las Vegas, we have what we call a rundown. And it gives you on the left every single club. Right next to it is when they're open with the letter, like M for Monday or R for Thursday, F Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And if there's a cover charge, which, this area right here where it says explore the city is supposed to be a map. I'm still working on this YouTube for these 100% static. You can build these quickly in about an hour, and once you have that, you can just give it to them, and they can take it, upload it to any hosting. All the buttons will work, and anything but it's static. It's not dynamic. Static is basically doesn't change. Dynamic is it changes with the database. So that's the second rendition right here. It went, I don't know where it went. I questioned it. It did get the map, but then I started wondering, why are we in London? Right? Where are we? We are in Puerto Rico. So hello everybody from Puerto Rico. Thank you for coming here and spending time with me, even though I rant. We did the second one because I wanted spacing. Are we still in London here? Yep. That must be the headquarters. Why is that defaulting there? Right? So it looked like this. First it looked like this. Then we went to this. Then it went to that. I started trying to put. It looked like the YouTube almost loaded. I gotta find out why it really does that, because I'm actually using the code from YouTube. At this moment, at this event, I said, hey, you know what? Look, even the map's not working. I asked the AI model, and I'm using OSS. I said, can you make me a header? Which it did, but it was just the header, this little header. None of this was even on there. So I closed the entire terminal, turned off Ollama, returned it back on, because I'm thinking it was stuck somewhere, was giving the same information. Reclosed the browser, started it again, and then I started building like I normally did. I went to my roots. I said, build this one. I want to show you the code first. And I like having tags. You want to know where you're at. Where's your header? Everything here is your header. Where's your hero? This is that big section right there. And then, this is where the magic right here. I went to Unsplash and I typed party. And all of these images are free. You don't even have to log in. I'm pretty sure if you did, you can get a lot more. So what I did was I said, well, where's the party? I saw this image right here. And I just did this. I right-clicked. I saw a copy image link. And I came here right before all the information that says center cover, no repeat, all that stuff. Right here. Because you see, before that, you got background URL. You pasted that, and that became the cover. Underneath here, it had a brightness. It was at 0.6, so it was very dark. So as you can see, this image right here is pretty dark already. So when it showed up, I was like, oh, let's fix that. And as you remember here, we had these three area. I did expand on that. I changed and put an image on the top of these three. And where you have the YouTube error, I just put a picture. I can even put a picture of YouTube that goes to the link if, I can't figure it out. So there's always a way. There's so many ways to make it work. And this is what I made. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? The map still doesn't work. We might have to pull from here or maybe here. And the goal is to have the map go to Ponce area. And then you get one of these, which is right next to it. This little town. And that's pretty much it. This was a 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes. So if you have 20, 30 minutes and you're in a pinch and you can do a little bit. I mean, I didn't really do anything crazy. We'll look at the code again. So in the top, of course, you got your beginner. This is all your metadata tags. This is what the browser looks at and say, okay, it's a website. And then as you look on the layout of the website where the wording is, where it says welcome to one of the events, and the way the placement of how everything looks underneath, that is right here in the styles. But the cool part is I asked, I'm a dum-dum, I'm going to forget. So we put variable base. Where's the header? Right? What information, how's it going to look? The background color, is it hovering? Then that's the hero, right? This one of the part is the hero. So when you look at the hero right here, you got the big image I put. All of this gradient is just to give it that look style, right? You notice that you don't see welcome one of the events because that's not where you put it. This is just telling you how everything's going to look. Right here is this, the 3 here. And then you got your map section that doesn't work, but we're gonna play with that later. I do have a dark toggle. I don't know where it is because I don't think it shows. Oh, it is. There it is. Oh, you know what? I just noticed. I don't have links. Links, I'll show you how to see how ugly and bright that is. We need to have a distinct separation. So we'll leave it at dark for right now. See, in the dark, you see where it's little light gray and dark gray. We need to have that set up. So once you finish the style, which right there is the closing of everything above, which is the style where everything's going to look. You got your head and the body, right? And this is the main area. Here's your hero again. But this time it has Discover Live Music Festival. Look at it, Discover Live Music Festival. And it says, welcome to, that's the H1. This is the H1. And here we have the 3 areas with the double picture. It's supposed to be a picture in the top. Underneath it's supposed to be a YouTube video. I left the class of the video. As you can see here, it does give it a different look from above. So if I actually had to design a thumbnail, I would put it there and say live, come check it out. But since it's, a temp fix, this is the video image link, but it's using the Unsplash. And the cool part is when you can pick these without the randomizer, like this other over here, right? This one. When you refresh it, you see how these change. You can see the cityscape. I'm going to right click. You can't. I think I lost it. Yeah. So you're going to right click, save image as. and they're pretty big. They're 800 by 600. That's enough. Back in the day when the internet was young, you couldn't have something that big. It had to be super light. But to show the placement, let's go and look at one of the cards. It's from here to here. And you can see the double dot line right here. That's the comment. Everything in between that is telling you the section what that is. So I try to put comments in a lot of my work. So anyone who is looking to learn how to do this stuff, I'm going to take all of these examples and I'm gonna put it on a website that I'm building, and it's going to be totally free. You know, the only thing I request is you add your email for a newsletter, and the newsletter is probably like, hey, look what I just finished doing. But inside the website will give you all these examples, and you can download the zip and watch the video and follow along free. No gatekeeping. I tell you where everything's at. You know, here's the images. If you ever wanted to make a website with, look at this map at the bottom. It's super small, but if it was actual link somewhere other than, oh, that is Puerto Rico. See, why does it do it here? AI's funny, man. AI, it will make you laugh. It'll it'll question your sanity. So take a look at that. Doesn't that look pretty? We'll just finish the menu on the top and put that over there. I'm gonna come here and the prompt. If is this it? I think this is it. Yeah. So as you can see here, this is just a simple prompt to build what you saw on the left. Right? I know it's complex. I didn't write this. I just went to ChatGPT and I said, hey, do me a favor. I need to, and I'm still working on it. This might not even be the right one. But as you can see, it is breaking down what to do, how to do it, you know, creative director, UX architect. Everything on the left, I've noticed it's a similar style. So what I am going to be doing is looking online, setting up a vision, which is the Gemma right here. Gemma 3 12B has it. The 4B has it. The 3 1B does not have it, which is vision. And when you set that up, you can take a snapshot. I'm on Windows, so I'm always Control G. And what pops up is I just hit the camera here. It takes a snapshot. And I just drag and drop it into, if you can use the free version of ChatGPT, I pay $20, so I get the plus. And you can ask it, hey, can you do me a favor? Can you describe in full detail what's this website front page look like, you know? And the way I do it is I just hit the zoom and I zoom out and I try to show the whole layout. This is not that great, but you know, it does its purpose. And the reason why, because you can get everything in one shot. So I think this one is responsive. Get away from that thing there. Yeah. So let me minimize this. Yep. And your map, and then you're supposed to click that, and you're supposed to be on your way here. So not bad. 20, 30 minutes. You know, if you're not comfortable or know how to do, you know, everything on here, it might take you a little longer. But I didn't do anything special. I noticed uh, here where you got the class video that it looks different than the top image on these three section here. And it just says, oh, well, that's definitely a video. So if I am a graphic artist, you know, you had to pass it, let's say, to someone and say, hey, can you do me a favor, make these three images into thumbnails. So they'll just put the red YouTube symbol on it. And then what you do from the back end right here is you basically just write the code, which is basically a reference link, right? The reference link will, when they click on it, would be a hyperlink like this. And when you click, it takes you right to the page. But I just don't understand why YouTube offers the embedded. And I put it in there. And here's the funny thing. ChatGPT wrote the code, and it did do the embedding as well. But to get back into the issue I had with asking ChatGPT 20 20B, the OSS version, it made it. I don't think this is the one, but then it separated everything. But I think this is the one I was asking for each part, but it would not finish or do it. It would repeat. Yeah, it would repeat, and it would not give me the same. It would give me the same information. This one's a better one. The instruction, the content, the section, function requirements, and it'll just spit out the code. Which one is this one? So see, this one has the splash. So that will definitely work. What's funny is that sometimes it doesn't work. Like, it could be the fact that it's saying, you know, portrait in person, because like if the Unsplash server doesn't have that understanding of separation, or it's part of a paid plan, it'll deny it. So I just look at the left and say, wow, I can actually ask ChatGPT to design something very simple, and it will build it in 20 minutes. It'll have placement pictures. You go all the way over to the actual site itself, right? And click the beginning, and right here, anything you're looking for. It has tons of pictures, a lot of people put around the world, and they also offer for you to hire them. So if there's something they're really good at taking pictures and you want something specific, you can message them and say, hey, and none of this is sponsored. I'm just trying to show people how to get images on this one's a funny one. These guys here with the birds, because I saw them riding a horse, and I saw a bird, and the first thing that popped in my head was that must be AI. Like, look at this thing. That's not even real. And now I can't find it. It was a picture out of a moving car, and the bird was like like on their head. It didn't look natural, but you know, photography, they get those shots. But look at all of this great free content that you can get, right? You need let's think of what you might need. Let's do. I was doing party. Let's do cooking. So you can get pictures of cooking. So if you're doing a cooking website, right? Look at this one. This would be a good splash header, right? Now remember, most of them will probably get just the middle. So if the information you want is where the hands are, there is a way to move the image. It's almost like when you're typing and you got center and justified. You can have both of those together and top, bottom, left, and right. That's pretty cool. All right, what else? I think that's pretty much it. I wanted to do another video about building websites that is not really as hard, and when people are trying and they're not getting that result that they want, try thinking a little different. Pre-prep what you're doing. Don't just say I need a website and just say a lot of stuff. Go to a website you like, right? And then you can go to ChatGPT and you can ask, hey, I like this website. Can you break down what's happening here so that I can make a prompt so I can make the same one? And it'll give you a good prompt. And if you can remember upsplash.com, you can start using real images through the first time. When I say that first time, I mean first run. Once you write your prompt, this whole thing right here, and you hit go, and then it starts to spit out this right here. That's the first run. And when you get the first run, it might look like this a little bit, and you say, I like this, but this wording could be a little bit better, centered in position. Maybe you need a bigger front splash where you want the words to be so impactful. This was the quantum space band. I was watching a video of a guy who also talks about AI and really cool, fun stuff. And what I kept seeing people was, can they make a website by asking? He did it. Look at that right to the top. He made one. And I saw it and I was like, wow, that looks really good. This bottom ping was me adding. His didn't have that stuff. His was very simple. He just says make a really beautiful, generate quantum space band. He had a star field. This one should have it, but it's not working. And I tried again, and then I figured out how to get the music player to work because it would not work. I wanted 3 of them. I had to close everything because the cache from the actual document to editing it to making it happen kept messing up, and I had duplicates of the same one, and then the middle wouldn't even register an update of what it was supposed to show. I had very strange experiences trying to just make this work, and if don't feel like the first time you do it in the edit and it doesn't work, sometimes you got to close the browser and start it again. Like me, I got like 10 things open and I wanted something like this, but it just kept breaking. I wanted, a um, a rundown. I have a better one of this one that I was playing with, but they're all in other folders. And then I started to slowly put it into folders this morning. And look at it. It's pretty good. Like I said, you got that toggle, but I want it to be a little bit cleaner because you can't see. This needs to have a drop down shadow, a break from the back to the center area. And I don't know. What do you think? If you like, please like, subscribe, put a comment down there. What are you using? Um, do you have a prompt that you run that's successful? You know, let's all share and see how we can figure this out together. My name is Dave, and thank you for making time for me. And see you on the next one.